So the biker gang this year, the biker gang shootout in Waco is hilarious. It happened on May 17th, the 137th day of the year. 137 is the 33rd prime number. They said when this happened, the ATF and FBI were already there, ready to raid. The federal government was already there. Remember, Washington, D.C. equals 137, the 33rd prime number. The FBI was established in history on a date with 33 numerology. The word 33, or the word federal equals 33, as does order. Notice that May 17th is also the day that leaves 228 remaining in the year. United States of America in simple English gematria equals 228. Also, the Waco incident in 93, where David Koresh was killed, began on February 28th, 228, the 59th day of the year. The word kill equals 59 in Jewish gematria. February 28th, the 59th day of the year. So, not long after that, the next major story in the news of tragedy was the Charleston church shooting, where 9 black people were killed in a historic black church. This story was all by the numbers on the back of the Walter Scott shooting. So get this. Walter Scott, a South Carolina man, was shot in the back by a police officer on April 4th, the 47-year anniversary of the assassination of Martin Luther King. The name Walter Scott equals 156, just like South Carolina, this number connected to God, how long the Virginia Tech shooting lasted. If you write out July 4th, it sums to 156 too. All these numbers connect back to God for the most part in gematria. Anyhow, the Walter Scott shooting happened April 4th. The Charleston shooting happened June 17th, exactly 74 days later. And the shooting was heavily coded with 74, this important number. The shooting happened on 110 Calhoun Street, 110, a number attached to tragedy. The World Trade Centers were 110 stories tall. Osama bin Laden equals 110. The number shows up a lot in tragedy. Please watch my videos. Anyhow, Calhoun has gematria of 74. In Jewish gematria, it also sums to 322, reminding us of the number for Yale Skull and Bones, the Masonic secret society. Notice the word Masonic in Jewish gematria is 223, the reflection. The shooting happened 74 days after Walter Scott. It was blamed on somebody named Dylan Stormroof. Dylan Stormroof equals 74. They would give Dylan Stormroof a 33 count indictment. Look at the update from CNN at 3:22. How about it? So Dylan Stormroof equals 74. He was arrested on Interstate 74. He shot up Bible study class, which has gematria 47, and with the S exception 74. He was arrested in Shelby, North Carolina. Shelby, North Carolina equals 93, which is interesting because he was born on April 3rd, the 93rd day of the year. The word propaganda equals 93. Also, notice how Shelby, North Carolina equals 43. The Civil War began in Charleston, where the shooting happened. Charleston equals 43. Civil War equals 43. Pinckney equals 43, who was supposedly the former politician killed in the shooting. If you look up the name Pinckney, they are slave traders and important people in the founding of this nation in South Carolina. That's where that name Pinckney comes from, that connects to Charleston. The word massacre also equals 43. This was reported as a massacre, the killing of 9 innocent people in their church, meant to racially provoke. The person who spotted Dylan Stormroof was Debbie Dills, having name gematria of 47, a ridiculous name. DD44, the word kill equals 44. Anyhow, this 74 and 93, as coded on Dylan Stormroof with the 74 name, born on the 93rd day, these are numbers that have to do with sacrifice, martyrdom. Jesus and cross equals 74. Jesus is crucified at 33. The word crucifix is 93. God's Son is 93. These numbers show up a lot on patsies, from Lee Harvey Oswald to many more, including Dylan Stormroof.
Okay, please hold on.
So moving on, there's the Aurora Theater shooting. The Aurora Theater shooting happened on July 12th, 2012. It happened at the premiere of Batman. This date has a numerology of 59, which is the kill number in Jewish gematria. This is the killing of 12 people. It happened in Aurora, which has the gematria of 74, like Masonic. The shooter's name, James Egan Hones, equals 58, like Freemasonry, also like the shooter at Virginia Tech. The next theater shooting after that would happen years later in Lafayette, Louisiana, the same week that James Egan Holmes was on trial getting sentencing. So while that was a news story, then we get another theater shooting. This time it's at the premiere of Trainwreck. They reported on day one the shooter was a 58-year-old, which stood out to me right away because I was already aware of this from James Egan Holmes. The next day they changed it to a 59-year-old, which is interesting because the theater shooting happened on a date with 59 numerology, the kill number. The location was Grand Theater, which has a gematria of 58. Here's what else is interesting about it. The shooter's name, John Russell Hauser, sums to 239. The country is currently 239 years old. This number's been coded all year in a lot of stories. He shot up Trainwreck, and earlier in the year, there was a train wreck in Philadelphia on May 12th at 9:23 p.m., the reflection of that number. Also, LeBron James starred in the movie Trainwreck, whose name in Jewish gematria happens to sum to 923. This year on November 4th, which is September 23rd on the Chinese lunar calendar, LeBron James went 9 for 23 from the field. The name LeBron James also equals 114. That's a side point, but weird things like that happen in sports too, is just what I'm trying to hint at, Truth Seeker. My videos cover these things. These numbers, though, they are significant. They come up again and again. The train wreck in Philadelphia was also traveling 106 miles per hour. Look at how the name Russell has gematria of 106. Again, he shot up the premiere of Trainwreck, and there was a lot of connections between this and the reported train wreck, which was a hoax by the numbers as well. After these two shootings with 5-8 coded on them, the next theater shooting would happen on August 5th, which can be written 5/8 or 8/5 in Antioch, Tennessee. It happened at the Karmic Hickory 8, which has a gematria of 85. They said the shooter had an airsoft gun and a hatchet. Airsoft gun equals 58. Antioch, Tennessee equals 68 and 86, which are other numbers connected around death. Caskets go 6 feet deep or 8 feet long. The words symbol, triangle, and pyramid have gematria of 86. All of these theater shootings remind me of something, and that is that Obama reopened Ford's Theater where Lincoln was assassinated at the beginning of his presidency. In history, Lincoln was killed at Ford's Theater, and just before he became president, there was an assassination attempt on him at the Willard Hotel. I have a video going into much greater detail on this, but Willard Hotel and Ford's Theater both sum to 58, just like the number coded into all of the theater shootings, which have happened since Obama reopened Ford's Theater where Lincoln was murdered. Just think about it. Obama reopened Ford's Theater February 11th, the 42nd day of the year. This number important to the Freemasons. Also a number heavily coded on black Americans. Jackie Robinson wore 42. In the O.J. Simpson trial, Mark Furman reportedly said nigger 42 times. The word nigger equals 42, and it is coded on black Americans in a very negative way. Obama reopening where Lincoln died on the 42nd day, being from the land of Lincoln, awfully suspicious. The last time this theater was reopened in history was 1968. Again, the number having to do with death, the year MLK was assassinated on 4/4. Obama's the 44th president. The theater was open from 68 to 77 for 9 years. The next president to die in office will be the 9th president to do so. So, in the time of Obama's presidency, there's been all sorts of racially provoking stories. Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Freddie Gray. Look at this. The Michael Brown shooting happened on August 9th, 2014. That's the day that leaves 144 days left in the year. That is a number connected to political assassinations. It happened on a date with 51 numerology, just like the name Michael, just like the word conspiracy. And look at these other gematria matches over here. Michael, the victim. Darren, the shooter. Police, 33. Race war, 33. KKK, 33. Missouri and Ferguson are both 42, like Freemason, like the number coded on black Americans in a negative way. Look at this story that Darren Wilson was put out with. Him wearing this shirt that says blues with number 42 on it. This is the killer of Michael Brown. What this shirt means is nigger killer. That's how disgusting this is. That's how coded it is. The word blues, slave, and negro all equal 59. Motown Records came out in 59. Kill equals 59 in Jewish gematria. This is no coincidence. All part of a sick joke. With regards to 33 Truth Seeker, Trayvon Martin, the initials TM equal 33. George Zimmerman, GZ equals 33. Trayvon Martin was buried March 3rd. 3-3. Since those stories, we've had the Freddie Gray story, police brutality, a man dying a week later after being paralyzed. This story is still ongoing. They still have to reach a conclusion on what will happen to the officers. Notice, though, that the victim's name is Freddie Gray. Freddie equals 42. Gray equals 24. This story happened on April 19th. A story connected to Waco and more. Remember, Waco's 42. What's crazy about this story is that he was hurt on April 12th, died April 19th. In history, the Civil War began April 12th, 1861 in Charleston, where the church shooting, where the Walter Scott thing happened. And then the first casualty of the Civil War was a week later, April 19th in Baltimore, just like the dates for Freddie Gray. If you write out 42 as a word in Summit, it sums to 43, like Civil War, like Charleston. Rodney King and Freddie Gray have a connection in the states, what happened to them, or in the states where their crimes occurred from the police. Maryland and California are the only two states with gematria of 88, like the words poison and program. Rodney King was beaten on 3-3. He would later die at age 47. Look at how Rodney King equals 59, like Negro, like slave. LAPD equals 33, police equals 33, race war, KKK, he was beat on 3-3. A year later in April, around the same time as this, there was the protest because the police were let off. The exact same thing might happen with Freddie Gray. They might be building this story into something worse. Now, a little tangent. The worst act of terrorism in the nation since September 11th. And Truth Seeker, you should know I have a massive video on September 11th. Please watch it. But the worst act of terrorism since September 11th in the United States is supposed to be the Boston Marathon bombing. I also have several videos on this. Please watch them. I show how they pulled off the fake explosives. But anyway, look at the numbers on the suspect, the guy that was drug out in front of TV for more than a year. Dozakar Sarnaev equals 74. This number that gets coded heavily. He's born in the year 93. Boston Marathon bombing equals 93. Propaganda equals 93. The date he's born on has a numerology of 33 as well as 51, the conspiracy number. That date, 722. They said Lincoln died at 7:22 in the morning. 22 divided by 7 gives us the number for pi. If you sum the first 144 decimal points of pi, it totals 666. The finish line for the Boston Marathon bombing, the year of this bombing, was 666 Boylston Street. These things are not a coincidence. This is how the gang operates, by the numbers. Look at the warning for when he's armed and dangerous. April 19th, 2013. The Waco, the OKC bombing. This is how they operate. These people are redundant. In the last year, we've seen a lot of police officers reported killed in front of green backgrounds, not wearing police uniforms. Here's a recent story, the death of Randolph Holder, age 33. Notice the gematria of green in Jewish. 137, again the 33rd prime number. This is how they hoax us, by the numbers. This is the psychological operations exposed. Thank you. Please remember this as well. The Freemasons are controlled by the police, as is the media. The Freemasons have an obsession with 33. There's all sorts of badges all over this nation that show the Freemason compass, which has the G in the middle. In Francis Bacon gematria, capital G is 33, where lowercase a through z is 1 to 26, uppercase a to z is 27 to 52. In this system, G is the 33rd letter. This is who's running it. This is who's doing it to us by these same numbers again and again. Until next time, Truth Seeker.